Hey, good morning.
Good
We
morning,
are.
good morning.
Let's see, I think your camera looks okay. Let me just double check it. I feel like there's like a weird edge on it. All right.
Looks okay on the stream.
All right, good. Oh,
Can't do nothing about my face, I guess.
Allison's there. I
But
know.
good morning.
Still feels really early. Uh, Probably too much
Yes.
dreaming about World of Warcraft.
Oh, so you did last night.
Wow. No, I go to bed actually relatively early.
Yeah, I was up past midnight. I was going to turn into a pumpkin. I stayed up much longer.
Did you? Yeah.
Nah. Good, but,
So,
eh,
so we were last off. Hey, good morning. For the board. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy playing on servers where it's like you actually run into people now. Like back in the day, or back in retail, like you'd be running around the world not run into anybody. It's like now there's just people everywhere. So,
Yeah, well, because there's stuff to do in the world again, right? So
mm-hmm.
everybody gets a little instance.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But we had left off with our advanced version of asteroids.
Advanced.
Yeah, well, it's a better ship, and whoa,
It's true. It is advanced from the wireframe.
yeah, right.
I like it.
It's a very nice thinking cap. So we have our strawberry, which is our asteroid, um, doing its little animation. We had left off where we were trying to, basically, we wanted to roll across the screen, hit an edge, then pop back up here, and then keep going along, right? Because that's kind of like how asteroids would work. So it would hit this side, then it would jump over to this side, and come scrolling down, hits this side, pop up here, and continue rolling, right? So that's the goal. Now, as we tried to figure out last time, we ran into some problems trying to get that to happen because in Scratch there's a limited size on the screen. It has stuff built in really nice for doing bouncing around the screen, so we could do it where it bounces off of here and then here, and it has all the stuff built in to really help with that. But we're trying to make this a little bit more like the original Asteroids game, which requires it to scroll across it. We had added in a random pick in a location and a random direction, and then we have this move forever, which is what allows it to keep going. We've then added some checks here to be able to check the boundaries. So let me remove some of this here so we can start with just one. We'll look at this one. Oh, there we go. Look, I can make that bigger.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was just noticing that it seemed kind of small.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, so if we get this to, so we don't point a direction just yet, right? Because we want to check, this is checking the X position, which is the direction across, right? And so what we want to be able to see is
So if it's great,
yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Well, if the X position ends up hitting the greater than 220, which is the number of pixels across, and what we've been able to deduce is that the screen is 220 positive this direction and then negative 220 this direction, and Y is going to be 200 positive and then 200 negative that direction. So that gives us what our boundaries around the screen are for the X and Y position. We've started with we're going to just do this one here for the X position greater than 220. I've set this direction to 90 so that it basically means it's going to move this direction across the screen. So if we, well, I put a random in
Maybe
here.
I was gonna say maybe change the Y so it's not riding across the bottom.
Yeah, well, that's fine. And then, yeah. So we'll start up. Why is
It's positive 200, so you just stuck it on the top. Make it like 80.
we'll just do that? There, so it'll go right across
That's
the
the middle.
It'll be easier to see there, right? So what's happening is as this number gets to, wait, I'm actually showing the X position up here, so you can see as it gets to 220, it then resets it back to negative 240, which will put it back over here on this side. I do want to kind of tweak this number. I wonder if 222 will work.
You get to stop it and start it again, right? No,
You don't
no,
have
I think
to.
no, it's going.
But if we do 240, which is what we thought it was, I think it'll actually. Oh,
I think 240 looked better because it sort of passes off the screen. Well, why did he stop dancing?
oh, because this one stopped. So I can put it back there. You can tell which ones are running because it has the yellow glow around it. So I was able to, like, I can actually stop this one by clicking on it.
Ah, yes, okay.
And then you can click on it again. So I must have clicked up here by accident to stop at one point. Right, so this is now going good that direction. So let's now like change this. So we actually want it to go that direction. Now I gotta restart it. Oh, it's upside down.
But you have to put the other block in.
Right, so now we've got a problem here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll duplicate this one. We actually need to, the operators put a new one that's going to say less than, or replace this here, right? So you want X position, and then since it's a less than, I think we need to say less than 1. And then we're going to want to set the X to
It's going to pop it off the middle of the screen. It's got to be less than 240, but negative 240.
Oh, that's right. You know, we were doing all that other stuff yesterday, and it puts it in a different spot. So it's
yeah, like 16 hours ago, we were doing it on a web page, and that measures off the left corner, top left corner. So
yeah. Right. So now we've got to go in the other direction. So now we should be able to. Now we can go either direction, and it's going to rotate to the other. Flip to the other side. So now let's do it for the Y position. Right, so actually I'm just going to set these both to 0. And then let's set this one so it's going to go down first. That way we'll basically duplicate this one. Oh, look at that. Duplicate the whole thing. So let's get our Y position, since that's the up and down. Now, the thing with the Y position was that it actually has a... We also got to change our setting here for this one.
now, what was that about the Y position?
So the Y position doesn't go to 240. Like, the edges aren't the same, right? Because it's, you kind of tell here that it's not an exact square, right? So it's kind of more of a has an aspect ratio to it, right? So it's basically
Sort of the old 3:4, like the old television sets.
yeah, it's kind of what it looks like, right? Because it's not quite widescreen, but it's a similar idea to it, anyways. And so we're gonna have to dial into this number, I think. So I'm gonna start at 190. Oh,
He's trying.
yeah. So 190 isn't quite right. What's
That's negative.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're going down.
It's more like a graph. All right, so let's change the direction of it. We'll have it go up. I forget what they call it. It's like a left-handed. I think is what they call that grid. So
it's getting up to...
so 190 is the actual height of it, right? So we need to do
Right, so
189.
yeah, so then it can actually get there.
Ooh,
There it is.
it's interesting.
Maybe want to go a little softer even, huh?
Yeah, because it's sticking.
There you go. That looks
Yeah,
good.
let me do one more because
It's still a little sticky, huh?
it still feels. Why is it? Let's just do 180. See if that feels better at least.
Yeah, that's smoother.
Even if it's a little early,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's still good. So now we can do. Let's do Y position. Set the Y. So now this we're going to set to 180. This negative will be, I guess we'll go with the negative 180 as well because that seems like it worked pretty well for that size. So we'll change our direction to go the other way. Oh, and then let's restart it.
All right.
All right.
So now...
Yeah, so now what I want to do, we want to be able to have it select a random position. But in the old asteroids game, the way it would start is the screen would start empty, and then the asteroids would come in from the sides and start moving. Right. So what we would like to be able to do is have them randomly start along the edges.
Right. So, So there's two steps there, kind of, right? So we have to... Yeah, think about how we would do that.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's use a... Let's randomize which which side it's going to start on, right?
That's kind of what I was thinking, and then we can decide. Then we can randomize the other parts appropriately.
Yeah, let's
right?
see. What do we have to try to do that?
You could drop them into variables, probably. There's definitely get a random number.
Yeah.
You got them up there. So we could do like 1 to 4.
Mm-hmm. We can definitely do that. Let's give it a try and see what happens here, right? So let's so we're gonna need a variable. So we're gonna put in here.
This will be like side.
Side. I'll do it for this sprite only. And then we need to set this variable to. And we'll have it pick a random between 1 and 4, right? So that'll give us our sides. Now we're gonna do a bunch of checks, right? So we're gonna do an if then. So now we want to say if the starting side variable is equal to 1. So I think what we'll do is we're going to do this where 1 will be the left, and we'll go around clockwise, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
All right. So let's maybe what we'll actually do is for right now we'll set this to 1.
Right, so we can just test it.
Yeah, this is so that we can actually test the value because we want it to be random, but let's test to make sure that this is actually working properly.
All right, so this is starting from the left side.
Right. So the left side means that. What does that mean for our x and y position?
So it means our x wants to be the lowest number, like the far left number, correct?
Right.
So that is going to be minus whatever, 240, 239.
Yeah, it's 240. Right, okay. Because you can see here we already got that figured out on our edges, right? So we got that started there. Now, this means that this number now can be random, which is going to be up and down along this value. right? So if we want to pick a random number in here, what we're actually going to want is something that's going to be negative 180 to 180, right?
Right, and that's going to cover the whole screen.
Right, so the
Like-
bounds on this are that, right? So that'll should give us a random position along here. We can actually just click on this and start it. You can see it's picking different spots.
Yep, it's light on point, like you can see we're on point, but it's lighting up.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
a bad rotation for the for the things. You can only see its little
Its
edge.
little head sticking out.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I can make that side bigger, but I can't. I wonder if I change this zoom. Oh, there we go. That might be a little bit better. I might have to make this smaller, so I can make this bigger.
You can see a little more.
Yeah, I was trying to make it so this is a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I think that's pretty good with this, right? So we can then take, so this one's working, so now I can just duplicate this, which makes this easier. And then I can set this one to 2. So now the difference here is that we want the random to be along the X, right? Because we're going to do it along this direction. So
Right.
X is going that way, right? But it has a wider range, so it's actually going to be negative 240 to 240. And then Y will be 0 because, no, it's
No,
not
no.
0.
It's negative 180.
Negative
Or-
180.
Or 180. Positive, because we're at the top, so it's going to be 180, right? Up is positive.
It is. Oh my goodness.
Right? Doesn't help. We were just doing that other stuff last night.
I know. This is gonna get tricky going back and forth between those two modes. All right. So now if you see, like, so we can click on this, and you can see it's kind of hard to see it across the top there. Let me hide these variables. I kind of want to leave those other ones in there. So as you see it, like you can see it popping across the screen up at the top there. You can even see here that this X position value is changing. I think that's looking pretty good.
I agree.
So now we can I can duplicate this whole thing
Yep, we can
and
do
then
our
do
right
3.
and bottom.
Yeah, because they're,
And then that should just be a matter of inverting the values, like that sign.
yeah. So this would be 240, and then this should be negative 180. Holy cow! This music. What the heck is going on? Let me turn that down. It's cinema. So this music here is Cinematic Soundscapes Volume 2. It's just like, bam, bam.
Oh, jeez. Like the bad guys are arriving?
Yeah, yeah. And the screenshot for it was like alien invaders. I was like, oh,
Oh, jeez.
which is kind of matches with what we're working on, I guess. We should put that as the background music for the the game. All right, so let me just check this one here, right? So 4 is along the bottom, right? That's what we wanted 4 to be, and then 3 will be along the side there.
Right.
It's looking choice. All right, so now we've got that. Let me just duplicate this block here. We'll put that there. Now we can do a random 1 to 4.
Now it should show up on all the different sides, right?
Yeah, so
And-
now it'll pop around the screen,
Bang.
starting on all the different sides. All right.
Huh?
That's what we were looking for. Now, we kind of have this piece here. Oh, I can't. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. All right. So now we want to be able to give it a direction, and this needs to be random.
Right.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do.
Well, I think we're going to have to pick that direction based on the other value.
No.
No? I guess it'll just pop through the other side. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it'll just, because we're going to have this stuff here, this will actually cause it to jump.
Yeah,
Correct.
I take it back. It'll work. 360? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can put this here.
That's the movement, right?
Yep. So now we should let's just see if it actually works as we expect it to.
Yeah, we should randomize the speed a little bit too.
Yeah, the randomizing the speed will be the levels, I think.
I
It's
thought
actually
it was the
because
number of steps, maybe. Well, no, yeah, I know what you're saying. As the levels go up, yeah, but I think
right.
they're within a range.
I don't.
Did they all move exactly at the same ticks? Because I felt like even when you shot them, they got like a little boost.
Well, I think
They
when
were a
you
little
shot them,
faster.
because they exploded, right? So each time you hit them, they broke into smaller pieces and then into smaller pieces. And so the smaller part's actually what made it harder.
Yeah, maybe they looked like they were moving faster too, because they were smaller. So you saw them moving through space. I don't
Yeah.
know. So there you go. What
Yeah.
would be
So
neat is if we could spawn up a few of these now, right?
yeah, that would be the. So this is what I am concerned about is that we'll end up with this situation, but we
Just
can.
shoot them.
Yeah. It's a really small direction, so it's like it's just moving in, which is okay. Yeah, so what we want to be able to do is we do want to be able to spawn more than one, right? This is where I'm not sure what's going to happen.
We're probably going to want to do it at the background level, not on the sprite. And then if you clone the sprite and then start it, you see that when flag is clicked, that's not going to work at the sprite level, I don't think.
No, see, there's this.
Yes, when I start as a clone, that's the one.
But see, this is where. All right, so we can do it from within the sprite itself, right? So we could do this. Think that would work?
Well, I would think that you probably, I think it will. I think it's going to spit out a bunch of them going in different directions. Let's see. Did it do it?
Well, I haven't. No, I was waiting for you to give us a guess. Moo moo moo. Blocks. Hey, we
There
got
they
them going in
go.
different directions. Oh, they're not animating though.
They aren't.
Oh, you know what? Because that is set on the. That's set on this with the click. So,
Oh, so we have to put that next costume in the big loop there.
well, no, we can just do this. We can just put when I start as a clone. So now you can see when I start as a clone.
Ah.
So what's actually happening is each clone, when it starts, it's now going to have these two loops going for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mew 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 B. I think that's how you say that. Or is it Mew Mew Mew? All right. So now that well, there's one issue that I see happening here that we should address real quick, which is going to basically be the fact that we have this one stuck here that's not moving. So what the case is that in here when we do the clone, this is actually the first one is this one here, and then it creates these other ones, right? So we created 4 clones with
those inside.
Those with the other ones additional, right? So what we need to do is under here is we need to hide this, right? Now the problem is this works to hide it, but now as a clone they're not showing. So because when it clones all the properties of it at the time here when this happens, right?
Ah, very good.
So now this way we can get just the ones that are moving. I think this one we should hide for right now until we get that going. Right, so now we've got that. We've got the ability to rotate. We can shoot fortune cookies. Now fortune cookies don't do anything at the moment. Ah.
Yeah, we need a little collision detection and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we
So
also need to figure out what our strawberries are going to break up into. Probably a different fruit, huh?
either different fruit or seeds. It'll be like
Could be.
blow off the seeds off of them.
Maybe eventually seeds, right?
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah. So that might actually be a few too many. Let's just start with 2.
Well, really, what you're going to eventually want is a little timer, right? That's going to spit a new one out once in a while. So that's how the
Uh,
game works. You get a
no.
couple,
So the way it works is actually that's each level, right? You
it just
start.
spits them all out.
Yep. You get them all out at the same time, pretty much. Now they seem to crawl in slower.
Yeah, I guess if they probably start off the screen, so they sort of look like they're coming in at different times.
Yeah. I wonder if we can see like
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just gonna mute that. So see, it starts off with them all out.
So there's 4. Blew one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and that was the same ones. There's still 4. Here comes the donut or the
Yep.
spaceship here.
Yeah. See, those came out faster, right? So those are different speeds.
Right. So when you shoot them, they get a little boost and they get smaller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So dependent on the level, so it's not like a random draw or anything. It's a linear.
Right. Which is so it was good to just see that again, right? Because it's been a while since we played asteroids.
Yeah.
Just to get an idea of like what we're trying to do for our specifications. That's why I was going to say let's just start with 2. And so then that way, because shooting them is also what helps keep them from hitting you, right? So that's why they'll rotate around and have all that kind of fun stuff, right? So what we want to do in here, I think this is the right spot. It's on the ship. So we need to, I guess we could do first, do the shots maybe.
Have when they strike the so you could kind of can't die yet, but we can kill asteroids or fruits.
Yeah, we kill our fruits.
So there's a when touching in the sensing.
Yeah, so we need to do
So when touching a fruit.
I'm trying to think. I think we want to do it on this one here, right? So this is part of this forever loop. I think we can add it to that, right?
Okay.
Because we're going to want to put in. So we're going to say if if
I think you went past it. There it is, touching, and then there's a drop down.
yeah.
Fortune cookie.
Yeah. So this is actually where then we can say delete this clone, right?
Right.
We should
add a costume that's an explosion.
That is. Yeah.
All right, let's just do that though. At least it should disappear.
Right. So let's see
So-
if that even works there. Hey.
Boom.
All right. So we can get them.
All right, that worked.
Yeah. So the only thing is, it would be nice is actually to let's capture that as a score, right? We'll just do it this way.
Yep.
There we go. So we can. That way we'll be able to keep track of that. We also are going to need at the beginning set the score to 0. All right.
Yeah, you could even put that up there. There's like text drop-ins and whatnot to make it snazzy.
Oh yeah. Oh, just missed it.
There's one.
Yep.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ah,
Harder than it
there we go.
looks.
Oh, I thought
Although
I
you
got
didn't
him.
get him. Oh, there he
There we
is. You win.
go. Yeah, so now we'll have to have something that's able to keep track of the levels and whatnot. But let's
Oh, we should make the shot disappear too, because the shot kept going.
oh, did it?
Yeah, yeah. We have to make the fortune cookie when it touches a fruit also go away.
Oh yeah. I wonder how we can.
Just do the same thing on the fortune cookie, right? Or do you think one would affect the other?
I don't know. I am not sure.
Look at the cats.
I win. That's how it works. I only make games that I can win. Unless I'm playing World of Warcraft, then I'm in a game that never ends. Yeah, let's try putting it on the fortune cookie. I'm. Part of me is a little concerned that that may end up causing a problem for us, but it's
Yeah,
always.
right. Because if it removes it before the other one registers,
Yeah, where do we even put that? Because we're gonna need.
is there no loop? How's
Oh,
that? Well, repeat until.
yeah,
Is it inside that repeat? Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be inside that repeat. Wonder if Control has. I guess they may not have a concept of break.
Yeah, like to get out. I don't think there is like a dump out.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
There's no exit. There's stop all. I feel like that's going to stop the program, or does that just stop the?
Yeah, that's an end, right? Because yeah, the bottom part of this block doesn't have a little divot.
Yeah, but like if you stuck that inside that if, it would end. Maybe it just ends that loop, or
Well, I can't put it in there. Oh,
that feels like maybe it's the like it doesn't have a return.
no, I don't think that's gonna do.
If you just throw that back in the toolbox, it goes away as well. I'm gonna have to delete it.
I think that's right. So I gotta find one where I can shoot it where it'll be early, right? So this will be a good spot. Oh,
So that's happening first.
yep.
So you can only wait by like a second, huh? That's the only time to let everything happen.
Yeah, I think.
Can we tell which fortune cookie hit the strawberry and delete it?
I don't see one. Touching color. Color, touching color. Interesting. I don't know, Pete. I'm looking to you for.
Yeah, I'm trying to look as you scroll it. Pop it open over here. So,
Maybe we'll just have to deal with the fact that we can technically shoot two at once if we get them lined up right.
Yeah, I mean, we could continue on. I'll see if I can find something that I can get rid of that.
Yeah, because I mean it's
Do a little Googling
yeah,
over here.
it does feel like it should be able to have a way of when the two things touch that they can both get done. But we'll see.
Oh, you can fix my habit unscripted.
So the next piece I was going to put in here was that on the ship, in its loop, we'll actually put the test of this touching thing again, but do it with it touching the fruit.
This is for the ship?
Yeah. Yeah, because the ship itself will actually be able to end the game. Now, I think... This we could do is stop all, but... I feel like we should do a message that the game's over. We could...
Right, like throw it up on the screen.
Yeah. They have an over... No.
You can type, they have words. I mean, you can type game over. They have like letters you can drop on. But they're literally like letter sprites.
Oh. There's another way of doing it?
I'm not sure. Those are what I worked with, was literally just doing sprites. Like, I didn't see put text anywhere. Like, see the letters.
Oh, wow. Alright. Oh, really? This does not seem...
You could shrink them. The size. Change the size, John. You trying to shrink it or duplicate?
No, I'm trying to figure out if there's a better way of doing this without me having to spend 20 minutes getting each letter for game over.
I think if you go to paint, you can type it into the paint and do it as one sprite.
Alright, let's try doing that.
It's hover and then paintbrush.
Yeah, it's just I kept... Here we go. Alright, there we go. Game over. Back to the code. This we can...
Put that wherever you like. Yeah.
There we go. So now we'll just have that hidden. And then we can... Oh, I want to go back to the ship. I wonder if there's... Ooh, what are we doing here? So I can show it, I think. But how do I... Can I drag this, like, onto here? No?
What are you trying to do with it?
I'm trying to show it.
You can click on it. It's oh, you're trying to show it from there?
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I think you have to flip a global variable and then have the sprite know when it needs to show. I don't know if you... Well, maybe you can.
I think what they have are... There's a way of doing messages. Because you have, when I receive message.
So what is message 1?
It's just one that we create, that's created, right? So I could do, say, new one here and say,
Oh, new message.
over, right? And then this one I can get.
Oh, well, that's totally what we need to do then for the other thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So now what? What are you gonna? What are you saying?
I was saying that that's going to help us when we try and do the collision detection as well, because we might be able to send a message to the bullet.
How do we know which? The problem is, how do we know which bullet? Oh, that seems
which one
like a very big bounding box. Oh.
Gotta hide it.
Yeah, so when it first starts, right? Because we don't have anything in here that does when it starts. It actually just goes with whatever that was left at, right? So it's basically like setting up the default. Ah, okay.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. All right, so got that piece. So that's where I agree with you, Pete, as far as the idea of maybe using the message to try to get rid of the bullet. The problem is we don't know how to send it to the right bullet, because the message is just a message type.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah, it's like a general broadcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with these as clones at some point. I wonder if... I was wondering if we might be able to say repeat until this or this, right? Oh, that's how we could get out of... Right, because in here it may still have the same problem, but we could do... We can do that, like this.
Oh. Okay. It still might...
It still might process it earlier than the other things. Yeah. Oh!
Shot through.
Oh, it shot through it still. It shot through it. I wonder if that was just luck. Nope. That's interesting. So in this case, it's actually processing the strawberry before it's processing the...
Mm-hmm.
So this doesn't really help us. So we could... Nope, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like, really, how do we identify which clone we're working with, right? That's the real problem.
Yeah. Which I don't know the full answer to. It felt like this was the right answer, but I don't think this will. But I do like the fact that we have it where we're able to shoot them, and they come out. We don't have them exploding just yet, but I think we're going to be able to get to that point. Because one of the things that is good about, at least with the clones, is that we can clone of something else, right? So once we destroy this current clone, we could actually have a new smaller fruit.
Orange.
Let's do an orange.
It's got to be like a clementine.
Yeah, right. The orange is not too bad. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it 80%. I think that's probably sufficient. And then, so what we'd actually be able to do then, we should be able to take this, copy it. Let me do this. No.
You just drop it on the orange?
I tried to.
Did it? It should have went.
Right?
Yeah. And yeah.
I did not see it. But I didn't lose it here. It's not like so I don't know where it went. It seems like I should be able to drop it there, right?
Yeah, you totally can.
It didn't let me.
Well, that's just a copy, right?
Yeah.
And when you click on orange, it's not in there.
Oh, shoot.
There you go.
Oh, I accidentally moved this. Right.
I think you just redid it. I think you just put it over there and parked it. Because now it's in the loop.
I don't think we actually tested that. I think we did that right from. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Oh, so now it's in the orange.
Yeah, if you look when you hovered over it, it did a little wiggle. And I think that turned it on.
It did it last time when I did it too.
And it didn't take it.
It looked exactly the same. That's why I was like, the only difference is that I went from this and I said I did duplicate, and then I took that and I dragged it right over here.
And that doesn't mean anything. Like, I know that that's not how it works. I think it was just such a big piece. Maybe you were missing it because you're like where you know how sometimes you have to have the right part of the block over top of it.
It did the exact same thing, Pete. It looked just like this and it shook. And then I
I don't
clicked
know.
on
Call
it.
MIT because it should be in there.
But see, look, I did it again and it's not here.
Sure.
Zoom all the way out. See that little
Yeah.
block that I just copied? It's because what happened was I copied it, but I didn't paste it first and then move it. So I think I could have taken this and done this.
Yeah.
And now we'll actually duplicate it over here. So that works. So that's how you have to do it on there. It's like that's what I was missing. Is that saying duplicate wasn't the right way to do it. So this doesn't have any costume, so that's fine there. We do need a when this starts. We need to hide it, right?
The orange. No, I'm just laughing at the strawberries and oranges.
Now this is going to have a little bit different start portion, right? So,
because it's going to start from a point, right?
Right. So we won't need that, but we will need a way to start it with
Yeah, we need to give it an X and Y.
right. So I think that's actually where we're going to use a variable for it, right? So we're going to make let's do break 1x. We'll put another one here. Will be break 2, break 1x, y. Right. So then what we should be able to do is when the strawberry breaks in here, we can add that control. So we need to be able to do. Whoa.
What happened there? Oh, do you have 2 in there?
Uh,
Maybe from when you were doing the duplicate.
I am not sure. So, yes, we want to be able to do set both of these, because then I can say break X and break Y, and then this will be set to our current X and Y position.
There you go.
Right, and then like create clone of, oh, and then we can do the create clone of the orange.
And then the orange will begin to do its thing.
Yeah, so what I should actually do is create 2, I think. Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? We didn't actually use those variables on the orange.
Oh, okay. That would make sense then.
Yeah. So it's like definitely confusing.
Like it did what it was supposed to do, but not where it was supposed to do it.
Yeah, which that was good at least. Oh,
ooh. Gotta
that's pretty
delete that.
convenient.
Ah, look at that though. Okay.
Did that work right?
Yeah, I think he just got them all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
That did not work right, or cleaned them up right away.
Yeah, I think it just cleaned them up right away.
Ooh, maybe we should offset them a little.
Well, we need to get that
Cookie out.
the bullet to go away is what it really comes down to, right? So this fortune cookie needs to dissipate once it's hit. But because we allow more than one shot at a time,
Right, and we got the strawberry where the orange is what's detected being hit.
yeah, you just moved away from the microphone.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I was leaning back thinking. Thank you.
The There's a lot of thinking that has to happen here.
Yeah, because we've got this race condition where one removing the one is affecting what we want to do with the other.
Yep. Yeah, we can't. How do we have? I was trying to think if we could. So this repeat until is what is good for us, right? So this is where I see this coming into play, and I think what we need to do is we need to put one of these in here. Add that. Oh.
Yeah, but we have to. Yeah, but what's the other condition, right?
Right. I feel like it's going to be in here with these variables. Ah. I'm just going to do a thing called hit. We're going to try this because maybe this will work most of the time.
Okay.
Well, because we can do this, right? So I can say, we'll set hit back to 0. I'm going to also default it to 0.
Okay.
And then over on the strawberry, when this all happens, I'm going to set the hit to 1. So what I'm going to make this is that this OR statement here will actually be checking that we'll check it to see if it equals 1.
Isn't that going to get rid of all the bullets?
Yep. Trying to figure out. Oh,
It's going to be hard to hit with another bullet out. Oh, that was weird. Was that orange just hanging up there?
yeah, the orange got stuck at the top. I don't know how that happened. But it's at least it's letting it. Oh. Did I do that code on? I did that
You're on the strawberry, but you didn't take it into the. Yeah, it's not in the orange.
Yeah, so if I forgot what I. Yeah, so. Oh, you know what? You know what's funny? So we got those all working okay, but the ship doesn't get destroyed when the orange gets hit.
Because it has to be or orange.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I was like, well, why are the oranges going right through it? So I can add this. As soon as I put it in, it finished the game. All right, so.
Get that one. Maybe need more fruit.
But it doesn't look like it's actually killing both of them at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's almost. I don't know why it would know, but it's like it knows.
It doesn't. You know what's happening? It's an interesting issue because what is occurring for us to be able to catch it is that in here, this one of them gets the hit 1 and then gets disappeared and sets it back to 0, and then the other one doesn't. It's like even though they're technically like these loops should be kind of happening at the exact same time, they're not. Right? They're just
it's on a thread.
It's just a little bit off because it's time splicing, which is kind of a high topic or a high concept,
Yeah, but
like a higher concept.
Essentially, everything happens linearly, so there is a step happening in there. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
So it's sort of correcting that little bit of an error for us.
Well, if we were able to catch it, the scenario that it would break is if when we have two, the second one is the one that actually hits it. I thought stop all was supposed to stop all. I can still shoot even though the game's over. So I don't know if you saw it in that case right there. It kept going. Oh, that doesn't work. Hold on. No.
Yeah, because you got to shoot one away and then hit a close one, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I got fortunate with all that.
Oh, it's 10:07.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
But what is nice is that this is a project that is up here under Pete's House of Code. So I believe it is public because it's in that project. So, you can feel free to take a look at that. I think we should probably add a link to that project in
on the website.
Yeah, on the website, because I think what we can actually do is we can link it to I think we can link it to this
There's like a studio we set up, right, for House of Code?
Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't want to set up a new studio.
I think I can get to it.
Oh, jeez. Yes, I think. Yes, I think. Here, see if you can get to that. Can you type that in? I don't have any.
Scratch that MD. Yeah. Let me see.
Just do this. Yeah, the other part is that once with this being up there, you could actually go to the studio and you can follow it. And so once you're following it, like any projects we add to it or updates that we make to the project, I think get announcements. Does that make sense? You're very quiet.
Yeah, I'm getting all the link together. I'm sorry, I was typing it in.
Oh,
I'm gonna put it here, and I will put it
I just want to make sure you
also.
could get to it.
Yeah, I can get to it, and
Okay.
I'll make sure I get it up places, so if people want to play around with it, they can.
All right, awesome.
So,
All
good
right.
stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that is a good Saturday morning stopping point. And, go watch some cartoons.
All right, everybody.
They
I
still
guess
have
have a good one.
Yeah, sounds great. Bye.